Right. This is part two of my story time of how I survived Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Maria. I have allergy back in Atlanta. And I just got finished walking the dog while I was waiting for part one to upload. Um, so I'm a little out of breath. I left off with the whole thing of not being able to be what the family wanted me to be. I thought I was what they needed, not necessarily what they wanted. And that was a part of my initiation and growth as a person within myself. I tend to repeat the pattern over and over again of pleasing others, and even in tough situations like this, it's okay to listen to yourself and take yourself into account. I often find myself in positions where nobody else does. A lot of times, I'm not saying every day, all the time, 100% of the time, but I felt like moving to St. Thomas, I was tested a lot. I was being tested a lot to see if I had really actually grown, to see if I really wanted what I say I want, um, and if I'm really willing to be who I am. And it wasn't easy, and there's some guilt in having a different vibration than the people around you when people are suffering. Um, it was a Pisces moon then, and I was feeling highly charged and creative and um, spoken to by the hurricane. And I am very much into talking to my guardian angel, the guides, and um, reading. And I just needed some time to myself too. And I kind of got into a little argument. It was a one-sided argument because all I told her, the woman that was like, you know, you just got here. You don't understand what it feels like to lose everything, and you're trying to get connected with the island. We've been here 15 years. Good point. But I'm like, I'm going through something too. I just lost my new start, just like that. It's amazing how a hurricane can last 5 hours and change your life forever. And it not only affected those who were in it, it affected those who were watching it happen. It affected people in the States, all over the world. People's hearts opened up to humanity because of this storm. And I feel like I did too. But at the same time, the people I was around made me feel like I wasn't doing enough. And that was pretty painful. That was pretty painful. Because in my body, I gave a lot of energy. I sang for them at night. I sang my songs out of my Vita playbook. I entertained them. I listened to them. I let them cry on my shoulder. And nobody ever asked me how I was feeling. You know. And so going back to my apartment, I was excited. And then a few days into the hurricane, I still did not want to leave. I was like, well, maybe I'll just stay here a year and help clean up because I don't want to move. I love St. Thomas. If you don't know, my ancestors are from St. Kitts and also Native American from a Creek Indian, the Creek Indian tribe in North America. So I felt very connected there. I felt like I belonged, and I really related a lot to uh, the essence and sensibility of people who were born in St. Thomas, and I met some people whose family was from St. Kitts, and I was just looking forward to exploring it. More of that. I lost that for now. I didn't lose it forever. And that's the thing about hurricanes, too. It's like, it's very destructive, and you lose everything for a time. And then you rebuild, and you're stronger than ever. I never knew that I could machete anything. I didn't know what a machete was. I didn't know I was that strong physically. I spent a lot of time in the sun. I consider myself to be like tomboy pretty, but over the years, I lost touch with my tomboy side a lot. Trying to, I have a bit of inner misogyny about what it means to be feminine, and being at St. Thomas and having to work really hard during my work away in construction and having to work hard after the hurricane to clear out all the debris. It really got me in touch with my body in a way that I needed. So everything wasn't like peaches and cream and paradise, but I learned a lot of the lessons and got connected with myself in ways I needed to. And I acknowledge that. And that's when you're going through any type of initiation, that's all you can do is have a great attitude and go through it, you know? Initiation is, you go through initiation at any time in your life. I'm 35, but 3-year-olds go through an initiation. 2-year-olds go through an initiation. You go through lots of initiations when you're a child. 12-year-olds go through initiation. It's basically growing up, and I did that. I stood up for myself. I feel like I was a great person. I had a great attitude and a great personality. And also, I want to say this. After the hurricane, at my apartment, where there's a generator, in the neighborhood I was in, there wasn't a lot of people who had generator. So we spent a lot of time eating dinners and stuff. Well, not a lot of time, but at night, people came over, I was telling you, with potlucks. I got to know all my neighbors. And it was so much fun. It was super magical. There's something about the night sky in St. Thomas. You can see every single twinkle, every single star. It looks like there's billions of them. That really got into my heart about St. Thomas. Like, I love the night sky. I love the night sky. And the thing about our dinner parties, they were fun. We had lots of abundance of food because people didn't want their meat to go waste, which was weird. Given that, like, outside there was nothing out there, like, as far as the green goes. I mean, the iguanas didn't have a place to hide from the sun anymore. In my yard, there was a beautiful tropical flower garden. Gone. Weird, just strange. How do you describe it? It's almost like a apocalypse town. People were putting up signs that say "You loot, we shoot," and at these dinner parties, all people wanted to talk about was the possibility of being broken into their homes and people stealing, and do you have a gun? Sleep with a machete by your head, and then I saw people who had lived on the island for 20 years leave because they knew that it was going to take 6 months to a year to get better. And they also knew that eventually gas would run out. You will be taking like baths with a bucket outside, and a lot of people don't. I don't mind stuff like that, but I also work online. I tutor kids online. I do tarot readings online. I have my YouTube video that I just started, and I want to continue with a lot of the things in my life that I have going on, that I worked really hard to get the self-esteem to even start. So, I decided that I was going to leave. And when I decided I was going to leave, everybody wasn't happy about it, especially some of the people that were closest to me at the time. I asked, like, are you salty with me because I want to leave? And of course they said no, but they were, because they weren't leaving. And everybody's like, are you leaving? Are you leaving? It's like the big thing. And you almost don't want to say yeah. Because it's not, it's like another person gone. It was like a mass exodus. And, you know, I didn't live like downtown St. Thomas or by the bay where all the ships come and go. So I didn't know when the boats were leaving, coming out and stuff like that. I didn't leave on like a big cruise ship with thousands of islanders to Puerto Rico. I left on a private boat from a friend of a friend. And I got to Puerto Rico in like 1.5 hours. When I decided to leave, the opportunity appeared. I jumped on, I packed up all my stuff. I hopped on the boat and I made my way to Fajada. Stay tuned for part 3.